Hello and welcome, and today we are going to be painting some skulls on a black background, and this is a Magma Art Jam. So if you're unfamiliar with this, with what a Magma Art Jam is, it's just like a painting that's completely visible to the public, and in fact I'll probably post a link to it in the chat at some point. And anybody can join and paint with you at the same time, completely live, kind of one-to-one go up on the canvas. And sometimes you'll have 5 or 6 people join. I've seen ones with even 20 people in at a time, all painting and doing their own thing. So it's quite a good invention, I think. We'll see if anybody shows up to join us on this one. It's a bit specific, so for me this is a bit of an experiment. Usually I do free draw, which means you paint whatever you want, and today we're doing something even more specific, and that, as I try and shake the rust stuff, is the drawing of wrong tool. The drawing of, or the painting specifically, painting of skulls. So it's about time that I brushed up on my skulls. I have a skull here in front of me. It's a Proko skull. It is just a little casting, a little statuette of a skull, and that is very, very helpful. Any kind of little marquette, especially for anatomy, is always a wise choice if you can get hold of something like that. Okay, so now that I put the skull back down on my desk, I'm going to kind of wing it, basically. I've drawn a couple of skulls in my day, so from this point, now that I've got a nice little silhouette, I'll just see what kind of results we can get from my mind. I am a painter that finds comfort in just the one task of painting from imagination. Sometimes it can feel like holding a skull in one hand and painting with the other can be a bit of a juggling tactic, so I'm happy to have memorized a lot of the simple basic patterns that you see in a skull. Okay, let me just double check our skull and see how accurate we've got it. Yeah, it's ended up a bit of a different angle to what I was initially holding it at, which is completely part of the process, part of the fun. Okay. Just kind of re-familiarising myself with the shape of the cheekbones. This shape that comes right up here and sort of ends at the ear. It's almost like it has 2 little kind of dimples here as well. A lot of the time, kind of that angle, if that makes sense. Okay, then yeah, I am actually going to go ahead and extend the skull out just a little bit back, because I want to show more of this cheekbone right now. I'm going to have to remember not to colour pick the background and to use the rubber instead on the silhouette, which is going to be difficult for me. I know I'm going to keep trying to colour pick the background and then paint black over it, because that's my usual instinct. Now I'm trying to draw with the rubber. It's not looking too bad. I like this this black on white. I might move this to the middle, just because I feel like it probably makes the thumbnail, you know, when people are looking at the possible art jams to join. I think probably makes the thumbnail a little bit nicer, doesn't it? We'll put that right in the middle. I don't know how much time I'm going to spend painting today. Probably an hour or two. I'm going to have to cook my dinner. This little Y shape here, always an interesting one. Right on the jaw there. I think a lot of that should be, you know, a lot darker than it is probably. I think my favourite part of the skull is this this little V shape here, right? That goes right above both eye sockets. I'm not sure how it formed, but it's such an interesting, complex shape on the skull for sure. You can see we're just getting away with painting with just 2 values so far, and I've even started getting a little bit greedy, I suppose, and started even doing some half tones with it. But we will get darker, and indeed we will get lighter too, and we'll get more specific, higher detailed. Probably not crazy high detail, but we'll get there. Going for a little bit of a stylized, simplified thing. So we've just dropped down a level. We up the saturation too. So we've just gone down a level in our brightness, and now whatever we paint is the new darkest, you know, brush stroke in the painting. This will be the new darkest part of the painting. So what that means is that especially when we first start painting like this, it looks really crazy a lot of the time, and it will make a painting look off, right? Because that shouldn't be the darkest part of the entire painting. It contrasts in a weird way. So you're kind of at a scrabble here to, or at least when I paint a lot of the time, kind of in a scrabble to get past that beginning period and make it look a little bit more normal across the piece, a little bit more legit, you know, make it contrast a little bit less. Kind of a little bit too far there, I think. See what I mean? How the nose kind of doesn't look like it's in the same universe as the rest of it now, even. That effect is more important than you'd think, because it throws off your entire ability to critique your work, because the way, and this is just my tinfoil hat theory, but I think the way that we critique our work is by looking for things that contrast. Something that contrasts loads is normally contrasting for a bad reason, and that's how we can kind of see what we want to change, you know. So I think when you do something like this and make one part of the painting contrast loads, even though it's a good step to do, you just do have to be mindful and be careful that that's going to throw off that sense. And you know how you'll often zoom out if you know, a lot of us artists will zoom out as we're painting, especially digital of course, but even in traditional, even when I'm doing a painting or a drawing traditionally, I constantly have to walk all the way across the room to look at it constantly. Honestly, constantly. May have gone too far on the eyes there. I think I probably have. I'm gonna keep going. We'll just see. Might be good just to get some of the other areas done, and it'll be a bit easier to gauge the eyes then. Anyway, I'll make that dimple a bit more, accentuate that. And I'm trying to make sure that these dimples are level as well across the skull. It's all kind of a little bit warped, so it needs we'll tune it in as we go along. Things are still only vaguely in the right spot. This is going to be, you know, where it's completely, there's a hole, you know, right there where you can see through to where it's just very dark shadow. Okay, looks like we've got our first person joining us. So you can see their cursor right there. And I suppose they're gonna paint some skulls with us. Might be quite fun to do. Hopefully we get a few more people joining even. But I'm obviously gonna keep doing these art jams and these streams, so building a community. We can get a community of people that regularly paint together, especially on these art jams. I think I'd love to do that. I'd love to help bring community to art. I'd love to figure out ways to bring community to traditional arts as well, but digital art certainly a little bit easier due to its internet connections. Starting to think about some of the details, but what you want to do as an artist really is you want to be constantly stopping yourself from thinking too much of the details and taking, you know, too much of a step forwards, because that will always be, I'm not saying to not be confident as an artist and make confident strokes and such, but process wise you always want to be kind of holding back. The longer you stay in the early stages of your painting, you know, well, I mean, with diminishing returns, the better it'll be. So you really want to, and there's no punishment for spending too much time in the early stages either, is there? So you always want to try and have a cognition to hold yourself back from accelerating the drawing. You're always kind of applying the brakes more than the gas, really. Don't let your intuitions run free. So as soon as you start doing that, and as soon as you start painting in a too high a detail for where you are in the painting, to put it as plainly as possible, as soon as you start doing that, that will it will, one, mess with the contrast in a similar way to how we was talking about a moment ago, and make it harder for you to fault find on your work. But for two, it will also just make it'll be really hard to recover, and you'll end up wasting a lot of time painting like a super detailed eye that's in the wrong spot, something like that. There's a lot of reasons why you don't. It's part of the reasons why most artists will say, you know, go from big shapes to small shapes and such. I like this this interpretation. This is looking good. This is I'm quite liking it. And you know what? I am loving, secretly, like, I love drawing and cartooning and such, and I do want to do a lot of that on this channel, but I think there's not enough painting out there, and I love the black background because it forces people to paint. It's unless they cartoon in white lines, it forces people to actually use the paintbrush. So I think I'm going to be using the darker backgrounds and the white backgrounds a lot more in future. I don't know how I didn't come up with that sooner, really. See, we had a good thumbnail, that's why people are joining. How you run an art jam. Build it and they will come. Paint it and they will come. I'm sat here like, what's the shape of this? I'm struggling. I'm sat here struggling to figure out the shape of this, and I've got a skull in front of me on the desk. I don't know. I'm crazy, man. Yeah, I see. There's not much of a likeness between my skull and the Proco skull that I'm using, but yeah. Oh, I see where I messed up. Yeah, got it. Okay. Yeah. This side of the mouth looks weird, doesn't it? It looks strange. It contrasts a little bit with the rest of the image. It just is, you know, it just pulls your eye in that same weird way that contrast always does. The reason for that is it needs to be cut off a little bit shorter. You know, a little bit more like that. Yeah, something like that, I think. It's a big old change to make at this point in the painting, but it'll survive. Okay, we're going to go onto the rubber, and I think I'm actually going to do something like that. Okay, I think he does deserve a little bit more of a muzzle than that. Also, it wants to be a little bit more like that. Okay, I might have shrunk the drawer a little bit too much there. Yeah, something like that. That was just that last maybe 2 minutes or so. That was just me playing with the shapes, pretty much picking random stuff, throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. To try and find the right pattern that describes the shape that I want to describe. This gap here is too much. It's weird, but it's too much because this is the middle of the teeth that I painted here. And usually there is like a bit of a shadow even that comes down like that. But it might be a good idea now to do just a... If I do too much, it will contrast weirdly. But just a little bit of a hint of the... where the teeth meet the gums. I don't know what you would call that. Okay, I did that too formulaically, that bottom one. I did that more like a dotted line. It just needs to be in a few key areas. Yeah, I think that's the way actually as well. And we'll do more stuff from what was I gonna say? Completely lost it. Oh, sorry. We'll do more stuff from reference when I can figure out how to kind of fit that into the content. Maybe we'll get a little bit better at drawing the skull even. I'm just going to soften some of this because it's too sharp. I mean, this isn't really the best way to soften it. Man, I'd kill for Critter to have the blending abilities of... Sorry, for Magma to have the blending abilities of Critter. Because Magma's really quite far ahead of Critter. Oh, sorry, Critter's really quite far ahead of Magma on that one. I really want the... you know, there's normally like a bit of a divot under the mouth right there. That's what it feels like I'm missing. Something like that. But yeah, I've kind of fallen into the trap of making exactly what I was talking about earlier. So I'm a bit of a hypocrite. Yeah, fallen into the trap of making something a little bit too detailed compared to the rest of the piece. I need to find some way to simplify that for sure. But to be fair, he has had a lot of facial reconstruction surgery in the past 20 minutes of painting. Yeah, it just needs to be some nice big blobs, especially from this side. Something a bit more like that, yeah. Oh man, this blur brush, yeah. It's just not really a blur brush. And you know, if they got the blur brush to work properly in this software, man, they could then apply that to paint brushes, which means that you could have much more natural looking paintbrushes. Really real treat to use that would, especially on a piece of software like this that has so many benefits already. Should we see how the rest of these guys are doing? That looks amazing. I love that. Well, this one looks amazing as well. Looks really nice. And then we have this original guy. I like doing the it's like the wall dude. I don't know. Right, where were we? Yeah, I feel like this side of the eye looks awkward too. It just doesn't look right at all. I'm going to do that a little bit. I think doing this kind of painting from imagination and then looking at reference when you get stuck on something is a good way to do it though, because solving the puzzles for yourself is kind of the way you learn, isn't it? It's like not looking at the manual. This eyebrow's too high, isn't it? It looks awkward. We're going to get this, you might have already guessed, but we're going to get this much darker too. And I really need to smooth that out somehow. I'm going to try it. And we go with the smooth brush. It's trying its best. Okay, now I want just a bit of a hard edge on it, right there. Just like that. It's got a bit of a weird knobbly shape at the back, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to get that specific. If you don't know, odds are the audience don't know, you know, the exact shape of what some tiny bit on the back of the skull's meant to be. That's kind of the logic that's, excuse me, it's kind of the logic that's kept me floating so far. Finding silhouettes is always so satisfying. I want to really hint at some of this interesting shapes at the edge, but it's a bit difficult sometimes. I flatten the jaw just a bit more like that. That's the rubber. Should we do a color abstraction pass on this, I wonder? Oh, you know what I want? I want some of the silhouettes of here. I want it to be wider and less subtle. It's too fine of a detail, that. Yeah, just a bit of a stripy pattern down here will suggest the kind of the underneath of the teeth where it you know what, I can even draw on the hint of individual teeth a little bit, just like that. Yeah. Oh, it's pushing it, it's pushing it, it's pushing it. It's a little bit high contrast for the rest of the piece, those teeth are, but I think I can get away with it. So we're gonna put some darks in the other areas of the painting. So I think we can get it to we can negotiate here. Okay then. Yeah, just thought I'd make the I'm gonna change it a little bit. I'm gonna make the eyes a bit taller too, along with the nose, just to match. I like the likeness of my little model skull a little bit better, and that's a bit more to that one's likeness. I think I've gone a bit too far there. I'm gonna just have a nice sharp nose. I feel like the sharper noses are actually surprisingly more realistic with the skulls. Oh, nice. I'm going a bit apart, lovely. It's just moulding the eye sockets around that. The eye sockets are one of the hardest things as well, you know, because most people think that the eye socket is gonna look like that, right? But it doesn't. And even if you look on a skull, it's like there is bone on the inside in a really interesting, genuine, like bowl shape. But that doesn't always look good compositionally, so sometimes I do black the eye sockets out anyway, even though they're not that way in real life. Often in real life as well, they're only sort of half, something more like that. Very rarely that, you know, they're fully filled in, and they are in that pattern where it's kind of like a squiggly, like that. I'm going to try to soften the tops a little bit there. Might even make this little dent there a bit darker. That one's still looking good. Yeah, like I said, you can draw in white ink still if you want to draw on these backgrounds, so they don't kind of force you to paint, but I am completely fine with that, even though it's not really the spirit of things. The spirit of things is to, I think the idea is to have the nice white stamp of the skull, but I really love this still, so more than welcome. I know that's one way you can do it, but like I say, it discourages, the black background does discourage drawing. Just because people are used to drawing in black ink, I think they'll be less likely to try and do a drawing on a black canvas, and I like to see more paintings. Just because it's a bit new to a lot of people, isn't it? Right, then we're just doing some macro changes now. And you'll see these are really fun to make, really satisfying. And have this amazing effect of instantly making a lot of paintings look more realistic pretty much on the spot. It's one of those little secret tricks that artists don't want you to know, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, these big macro strokes over an already detailed piece, kind of like if you do it with the airbrush as well on some things that need to be a bit softer, works amazingly. I've just realised big issue with the skull there where I had that. It was way too low, you see that? Keep it nice and dark there. Yeah, so we're going to rectify that. I'm going to rectify this too. Side of the nose being so bright. And you'll also find on the skull there's this kind of like lip here under the nose. I'm going to try and get that represented. Should probably use the skull on my desk for that. Okay then, this eye socket, we really want it to be pushed up against the edge of the nose. Like the edge of the nose is where the eye socket ends because it's protruding out in front of it. But then it looks a bit too close, so nah, it's tough. I didn't have enough undos there. The eye needs to be a bit closer though. It does need to be a bit closer. Yeah, sometimes it's hard figuring out. I don't know what that's called. It's like the what's it called on black holes? The event horizon. You know, at what point does the nose start to eclipse the eye? Which, yeah, again, that's the exact sort of thing that will be helped when I do some drawings and paintings from reference. Wonder if I can get some kind of excuse me, service or something where it'll show me just specifically pictures of skulls at random for me that I can use to paint with others as well. That's not good. Not good value. There you go. Although I don't want to go that bright yet. That's basically what we've got. That's basically already our brightest. I'm trying to get a... Yeah. Just gotta watch out with this because it's gonna desaturate anything it touches. And you know, the highlights are so fun. They're one of the things in painting that's so fun to do and satisfying that you can. This is where you can actually overdo it pretty easily. Maybe just something like that for the nose. This is going to be a tough one for the nose. Whatever I do, I think I'm going to protrude the nose out a bit further. I've just abandoned my colour, but going to bring the nose out a tiny bit further to justify that highlight there. I'm going to try and get the colour back that we once had. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's looking nice, right? I like how foggy it goes there, so I don't want to ruin that. Maybe a little bit just there. It's getting further from the light on this side of the face, so should refrain. Light's not quite 3/4. It is kind of facing the skull, but still got to be careful. Okay, so we kind of like digging the skull out here. A little bit on the chin. Oh, I can't wait to get the darks in next. Right, we're going to go super high saturation on the darks as we usually do. Especially for when something's in a like a crevice like this in the like it is in the nose here. Struggling just a little bit. I think it's because this actually tilts back a bit. I've got it way too... I'm going to abandon my value that I had picked there, but... Just didn't have it quite right there, you know. Had to get that right. It's quite important that little blade in the middle of the nose. I'm just guessing with this this pattern in the eye socket. It's not based on any logic. I'm just trying to accentuate what I liked about the pattern that was already there. There's no there's not really that much logic to it. Spaces like that are hard to render. Typically, luckily, are the spaces where you can sometimes get away with a lot of inaccuracy as well. I could try to use my skull that I have in real life. I'm holding it in my hand and looking at it right now, but it's very tough. It's very tough because obviously the lighting does not match in my room. It's very tough for me to really use that to gain much insight either. It is a very abstract area of the skull, those two dish shapes. The way it can be lit is often hard to sort of emulate. Obviously you do emulate dish shapes, but features around them as well can make the shadows cast really hard to predict. Again, where my lack of oh my god, they started filling it in. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, that's where my lack of it's not that I haven't painted the skull before, but you know, so my lack of experience painting from reference probably I don't know what the word is. It's probably just lacking, you know. Really want. Sometimes there's like a bit more of a shadow cast. It's lower, I think. By the front teeth. Right under the you know, the bottom of the front teeth, right there. But it's not looking right. It feels like it's shoehorned in, so we'll allow it. Oh, I think I was just using the rubber to do all of those edits I just did. God damn it. I'm just gonna try and paint over them, and hopefully my drawing won't be too full of holes. Oh no. I mean, it's bound to be full of holes anyway, but I knew I was gonna end up doing that. Doing stuff like that. That won't be the last time either. I didn't think I was gonna do that particular shade of messing up due to the dark background and my preference to kind of colour pick the background rather than use a rubber. Need more saturation there is why I just went back. Need way more saturation. Too dark now. Oh, the teeth. You see what a fine line we're having to walk with these teeth. Like, Jesus. It's so sensitive to you push them in the tiniest bit and they go way over contrast. Gotta be so careful with them. It's like treading on eggshells. How long have we been going for now? Nearly an hour. Jesus. I thought I was gonna paint like 6 or 7 skulls maybe. But I've just spent loads of time painting one. Yeah, I like this one too. Looks kind of heavy metal-ish. I like how they put all the colours there and then they've only ended up using white. Oh, I'm sure they're probably going to use those colours later. We'll see. Ah, yeah, this one's good. Looks like a patch to me, like, you know, something you put on your bag or what have you. One of those little patches. Look nice, embroidered. Oh, no, it looks like it would be on a hat, you know. This one's sick. So much understanding of dimension here. There's such a demonstration of 3D comprehension on this painting in particular. You can just tell, you can see they're thinking about the planes, you know, at the bottoms, all sorts of stuff like that. And I think I can say the same for this one. They're really there's quite a lot of knowledge and understanding there clearly when it comes to the 3 dimensions. Okay then, let's keep making this darker in just the right ways and just the right places. Right there, there's one of them. I'm thinking right here. It's just a hunch, but maybe right there, we'll see. Not that much darker. I took it overboard. Something like that. I'm trying to show where this line at the cheekbone meets with the muzzle. That's the sort of line this is following anyway. Now I'm doing some of these teeth. Went too far on that very darkest value. Then we'll take some of that back. Make this darker. Even more of that shape too. I think I can see this shape looking a little bit better now, because I feel like that's the shape I've been kind of struggling to get just right so far. Even when I've used the little hand version of the skull, I've been kind of struggling with that one just a little bit. I think sometimes you see just the top of it, like that. You get that shape. I've seen that when painting it from reference. There you go. That's where some of my reference has helped me actually. I've painted a lot of skulls from reference still, just not as many as maybe I should. Should always paint more skulls. Always. One of the most fun things to paint and draw. I'm going to introduce some more darkness. Needs more saturation than that though to get away with it. It's looking alright so far. I don't know if we'll pull off a little bit of a quicker skull on the next one. Try and do 2 skulls here. I was a bit burned out today. I wasn't actually planning on streaming because of being just a little bit burned out, so glad I hopped on. See how far I can push it. But as soon as I had this idea to do the skulls on the black background, you know, I was a big fan of my own idea there. So here we are. Man, it's so hard not to lose saturation. Just work with the top of that as well, make it a bit softer. In fact, you know what? I'm going to use the soften brush. I think when it's the larger, softer one, I think the brush can do a bit better sometimes. Please don't prove me wrong. Didn't do too bad. I don't know if we need to go much darker than this. We obviously haven't gone quite down to black. But, you know, just because you can, maybe doesn't mean you should, you know. Let's see what black looks like. That's the only place black would ever be used. Right there in the nose. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to go back down to black. We need to do that. Not that much, but it really should be in these areas because they are gaps where you can just see straight through pretty much. I think it just needs to be faded in a lot more. Is that the only places? Maybe right there, possibly. Yeah, come on then, we'll let that bit exist. And right here there's some contact points. And I think behind the jaw, this little bit at the bottom of the skull it's always going to be very dark, that. Of course there's like a little bit of there's some little, I think they're like sinus holes in the skull, and you don't have to include them, but I like to. I just feel like nope, I'm not going to do that. Well, I'm going to tell you what I'll do. I'm going to make them a lot less. I'm going to knock the contrast right off them. They're way too high contrast. They're a bit of a high contrast thing, which is probably why it's good to not involve them sometimes. Let's see if we can, I know we just said, and it's going to add more contrast, but see what they look like when I make the bottoms of them just a bit brighter like that, so they really do look a bit more like a divot, and then at least they'll look a bit more real, which I think has worked. Just get a really small brush and see if I can just add the... Yeah, I'm being really cheeky there, trying to get away with that, but we'll try it. Oh, it can't be that dark. Please, Mr. Contrast, let's get away with this one. Yeah, there we go. There's some nice looking little pinholes. And yeah, I think they're for your sinuses. I think all mammals have them, it seems. It's a bit strange, but they are real. They are there on the skull, and they're on this little model of a skull I have as well. You'd be surprised just how much you can work something. See, I've carried on working this skull for quite long now, and it's gone through very many different stages, and you know, sometimes it's looked better, sometimes it's looked worse. It's been through a lot by this point, which is why I have to sometimes stop myself from getting kind of frustrated for other people, and I see people giving up on their paintings just a little bit too early, or rubbing them out. You know, one, you shouldn't be ashamed of your paintings to rub them out, but for two, you know, you'd be surprised how good something can be when you literally just add more time. I mean, we've been painting this skull for an hour now. So yeah, don't give up on your paintings. It's one of my biggest pieces of advice. Wrestle with your paintings until they look right, because that is it's a large part of learning for sure. Yeah, this tooth column that this skull has something wrong with it. It's weird in some way that I can't quite put my finger on. I feel like this wants to go. This gap is bigger on my model skull as well, but I feel like it wants to be more like that. And that's why it looks like it's kind of gurning, if that makes sense. I think it wants to be like that even. Does it? Let me see. Yeah, it's just it's a bit like that. Making such big changes so late into the painting. I shouldn't really do it, but I'm just curious to see what it'll look like if I correct this little doodad. Some of this skull is simplified, so this is still very much an inaccurate skull, anatomically speaking. But you know, some things are definitely more noticeable than others. Something like that. Am I going to get away with that? I wonder. I think I can get away with that. I just need to just blend it in a little. Oh, that looks nice. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely going to do a couple more of this exact type of art jam, this painting skulls on a dark background. Maybe some other stuff that I can come up with an excuse to paint on some sort of dark or, you know, heavily saturated at least background. I think it's good at encouraging people to paint. Like I say, we've got more paintings. Actually, no, I tell a lie. People do drawings and then they fill them in a lot more on on other canvases, but I feel like whenever it's a white or a grey canvas, I feel like people are still more than welcome to do that here. As long as they use a white pen, they'll be fine, completely fine. But it encourages people to at least do the part where they fill it in with values, right? It's the use of values I like. I like the idea of so that's a bit different, right? I like to find places where I can be niche and a bit different. So see that the market is heavily withdrawing. I like the idea of kind of going the counter, which is a bit of painting. Contrarian. Okay, sorry, I had to, oh. Sorry, I had to go mute for a while there. Yeah, this guy, oh my god, love it, love it. Love the stages that I went through as well. I'm doing a bit of a, more of a comedic take on the challenge here. And that's, it's going to be kind of a skull looking up in amazement at this other person's painting. I'm going to try and do some dramatic lighting on it too, so that's why it's looking a bit crazy at the moment. Yeah, just getting a feel for it so far, as you can probably see. Trying to go, when you start off with a painting, you really, it's when you're using your heaviest, you know, what's it called? You can get practical and the knowledge side. You're using more of your knowledge side when you start painting off, and then you can go into kind of you know, then you can go more into flow state, as they call it, and just naturally intuit things instead. This one's a bit of a simplified anatomy as well. Semi-realistic, I suppose. I don't want it to not look like a skull, but I'm not really trying to make it stylized in any way, other than the ways that kind of make it easier for me to paint, I suppose. Oh, there's going to be eyeballs in this skull as well, I should mention. That's why he's got pupils there. It's very satisfying to do the eyeballs in the skull. I mean, it would be, I suppose, because they're made to fit there, but particularly satisfying, kind of just outlining them like that. Spreading some of this half tone here, the exact same value, keeping the value structure simple. Trying to go for a bit of a posterization effect, just a tiny bit. The nose looking dark like that never works out very well. Need to make it a bit darker as it goes down too. Oh, these teeth might look nice. I might be able to get these ones to look quite cool, I think, especially if I lean into the stylization just a little bit more. I think I've got that same issue, you know. Maybe that's something that I'm naturally doing in skulls, and I wonder if I'm doing it in skulls, am I doing it in faces too? Yeah, that same issue that I made, same mistake I made last time. The jaw gets even smaller. Didn't think it could, but here we are. Suppose the jaw's gonna be. I'm trying to paint with the rubber there. Suppose the jaw's gonna be. It's gonna be one of the smaller things, isn't it? And it's kind of more twisted than actually naturally opened in this too. Am I painting with the rubber again? No, I just didn't have the colour selected that I thought I did. Yeah, something like that. How's that look? And with how far back those teeth go, I think that's what I can sometimes do. And I've maybe done it on this one. You know what? Oh my god, I have. Let me see. No, this one's okay. But that should, that line should be a different shape, really. I should have accentuated the fact that it kind of goes down and then up a bit more. I think that would have made this one work a little bit more. Maybe I can try and show here. Yeah, I should have done a bit more like that. I kind of just ruined it there a little bit. There you go. But yeah. We'll try and get it right on this one. Apparently there's 4 people on here right now. Is this being painted? I don't know. It's 4 people there, but no one's painting for some reason. I'm not sure why. I've never seen that before, where people do join, but no one's painting. I don't know if they're all just kind of watching. I don't know. I really don't know. They might just have it running on the computer. Maybe I just haven't noticed. I think that's new, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. That one's been drawn up. We got one of them. Well, there's 4 people, including myself, so three other people on this canvas. Seeing if I can kind of break the ice, you know. That's why I start painting, you know, straight away too, just to try and break the ice a little, and maybe if anyone's a bit nervous to start drawing, it can help. That needs to go even further back, really. This jaw here needs to go way further back to like there. So this jaw's gonna look more like that. Oh my god, I'm trying to draw with the rubber. With the eraser. Oh my god. Done it too far. I always take things too far. I used to take things not far enough, and then I started saying to myself, off by a little, off by a lot, and that, Jesus Christ, that just to the screen. What was I saying? Because yeah, a lot of times when you do get something wrong and you've spotted it, it's off a little bit more than you think, you know, and your ego kind of makes you think maybe it's not quite so off. So I really have I think you are better off with a tendency to overcorrect just a little bit. You'll paint faster due to it, because you won't go through the hundreds of tiny little, oh, maybe I should move it 1 more millimeter, maybe I should move it 1 more millimeter, and you know, that comes with doing it tiny little bit at a time. And when you're in digital, there's no punishment for just, you know, going the whole hog, so why not? Really genuinely trying to get this to look right with the lighting. Needs a lot of work though. I love this little bit on the forehead, so trying to make that a bit of a bit of a master copy for the rest, if that makes sense. Bit of a demo. Too bright there, those. Really should be quite dark. Should be quite dark indeed, but it should also be quite purple. Right there. And maybe some warmth letting in just from the light cascading this way onto the cheek. I did it to myself. I did when you accidentally tap the color picker key rather than, or sorry, when you accidentally tap it for 1 millisecond too long, pretty much. Yeah, the whole jaw is basically in shadow. Is it not? I want to bring the light back over here. See how that looks. Just looks a bit odd. The rim light's not quite working yet. We need to establish just darkness on that side of the face, I think, and we need an extra level of darkness to properly get this working now. We need all the food on the table. Trying to hold myself back from it, but I think it's the right thing. It's the right time. Something a bit like that, right? I want to make this more blue. I want to give it a bit of saturation. There we go. We're getting there. Getting there. Got something that looks a bit more like a skull. I don't know quite how to do the inside of this jaw so that you can see the shape of it. And it's very low detail right now. I haven't added in any of the extra wingdings and doodads. Not sure if I will get around to it or if I'll leave it, probably end up leaving it stylized like that. This one's going to be a lot more stylized because I'm doing it in a little bit less time, so just using the stylizations that are kind of convenient. On this inside of the mouth, I'm not using the rubber. I am actually just using the eraser. But on the outside, so I'm using the rubber to keep it as so you know when you copy and paste the layer, you've not got big black smudges all around the painting. God damn it. Okay. You know what, before I do the highlights, I'm just going to level this because it doesn't look right at all to me. Not sure that's the right way to go on the cheek there. With this shadow pattern here is really the important one, I think. Genuinely. This square shadow pattern is so important. I think it's like that. How is it? I did it on the other one just fine. Oh, I see. Yeah, you see it here on the other one. It's like exactly how it should be. And it's a little bit like that, maybe even. But I don't think I'm even to do that. Yeah, this lighting, it's part of this fun lighting, I suppose. A bit more of a challenge to figure out some of the stuff, but also some things, like especially, you know, like the edges of the teeth here can look really nice in this sort of lighting and can be really fun to sculpt too. You see, we're starting to get a bit more of a clay feel, especially in that sort of area where we just worked on. Looks a bit more like we're sculpting clay rather than painting in the mist, especially now that I've fixed the kind of contrast issues here. I don't think that highlight there was working out. Eye as well. Need to. I mean, that is going to be pretty much how the eye looks, but you know, I might make it a bit redder towards the outside like that. Yeah, I think I can just I can just get it a little bit better, a little bit more like an eyeball, even with how few pixels we have. And then I can do this a bit early. It's a bit cheeky. Or maybe just that. How's that look? Oh, I think, you know, I think it should be like a little hook shape, like a little. Little squiggle, yeah, I like that. I might cut it here too. It's a bit of a dot on a line. Oh man, the shape of a... There's never been a decision so important as the shape of highlight in an image. You know, people spend how much on their ring lights for social media or whatever. It's all because a cool looking highlight shape adds a lot of value to a portrait for sure. Disproportionate amount of value. Hey, we've got a new painter down here. It looks pretty good. I'm liking it. It's making me think of you know, like Daniel Fortescue. Some medieval stuff going on with the teeth, maybe. This one looks amazing. This guy's carried on. He's continued, or they have continued. This person is OG right here. That's the best I can do. They notice me squiggling next to their work. Quick, run away. Right, but yeah, we're getting some good stuff on here, you know. People are people are really joining in on this stream, on this art jam today. So it's nice. Amazing. But yeah, I can really see like this being a good place to develop a bit of an artist community for sure. Again, just watch me do the highlights, the most satisfying bit. It's interesting the pattern of highlights that you get in this area particularly. Doing some of the highlights on the teeth there before we've got some of the other recognisable characteristics. You see I pushed the that's okay, I pushed the contrast a little bit too far there with those brights. It just looks a bit weird, like he's got a bit of a mustache. Just went a bit too far, so we're just gonna, well, I mean, we're gonna attempt to take some of the brightness off. I think I chose a value that was too dark to do it effectively there. There you go. I'll try and do a hint of the teeth here. I think I can get away with it. I need to remember to peel it up back here though. Actually there, I don't know what's going on there. We can spare just a little bit of black in here. Just a little bit of the ultra dark values. How's that look? This pupil just needs playing with a little bit. Something like that. Just matches the other eye just a little bit more. You can see some white pixels, like a line of white pixels there between the pupil and the top of the eye socket. So you just want to kind of at least try and repeat that pattern a tiny bit, and it adds a little bit of familiarity. Now I'm really tempted to see what going a bit too far here looks like. Again, there's been some work done. It does look good. I just feel like I haven't angled, especially these ones, out enough. Should really be angled quite. Oh my god. It doesn't look right, does it? Need to brush up on that. I think I do want to extend the teeth back a little bit again. I feel like they want to go back to at least there. This really dark purple here. Wow. Jeez. That's pretty good. This person's still going, and you know what? They are using the colours. They've gotten to the colours. A lot of what they're doing is, you know, the details. Something's going on here. Oh, someone's drawn a big streak. Who's drawn the streak? Here we are. What do I even do as a moderator to fix that? I don't even know. Oh my god. Well, I think we're getting there with the cinematic lighting on this skull. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Jesus. Just kind of guessing the shape here. Really should use the little skull, but rather just trying to come up with some random squiggly shape and see what I come up with. Yeah, should we do that? I think that best illustrates, you know, the shapes. It's quite an interesting shape we've got here. This kind of seal shape in the silhouette. A lot of information held in there. Yeah, silhouette chasing is just one of the most satisfying parts of painting. Silhouettes just hold so much power over how something looks, especially in 3D. I just feel like that bottom part of the skull shouldn't be too bright. I feel like we're going to see something like that for the chin. For the chin? For the jaw. For the jaw, I mean. I don't know whether that highlight there is just a little I'm gonna lift it up and see what happens. Quite hard for me to see it because the this pixel grid is like migraine inducing almost. At least on my monitor. When I look on my second monitor, it looks, because it's a lot smaller, it looks a lot better. I feel like I might get rid of that though. I like it when I am painting normally, but I'm painting with a black background. Seems like it can do your eyes in a little bit. I don't know quite how to tackle this this jaw, the blue lighting on it. I'm struggling with just slightly. Press the wrong key there. I keep pressing the colour picker key instead of the Z key. I don't know why. Now this painting is pretty good. It's a good way to paint in this software. I feel like that was kind of, this painting that this person's doing right here. This is kind of what I was going for. I haven't ended up doing it, but this is what I had in mind that I was going to do when I started this art jam with my own skulls. And that's that kind of you see how they're using the blur, some nice blurriness and some sharp edges mixed together there. That's a really cool style to do on this this kind of black background kind of thing. And maybe I'll give the stream one more skull and try and nail that a bit more. I might do it over here with these guys. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that kind of comedic skull. Just gonna clean that up a little bit. I think I'm gonna leave that as is because I think it tells the story. What's there now? And this is just an art jam, you know. We can kind of, we don't have to completely finish things. We just have to make sure that the size of them is proportional to time spent in some rough, vague way. Right then, I'm gonna try and paint a little bit like that, just kind of show you guys myself. Although that person there was doing a great job of it, of that style. Already. See if we can match a modicum of that. This person is very interested all of a sudden. Right, yeah, it's kind of really round is what you're going for. Really round and soft bits. Lots of soft hard edge mixing. As I was saying, they were actually like they were really nailing it already. So you guys are gonna get two examples, one from me and one from that person over there. This person's just hovering their brush right over the painting. Yeah, and I'm gonna try and keep the kind of round, pillowy aesthetic because I like it. And you do the progressive. You really do stick strictly to the progressive darkness scale too. Okay then, and then we get a little bit darker, just a little bit darker. I'm gonna do like the insides of some of these areas of occlusion. It's much more stylized, and I think I might be able to paint this a bit quicker too, to be fair. Just get carried away sometimes, eh? But this is definitely a really fun way to do it. I've been enjoying the realistic skulls though, especially that first one. Second one, I feel like I really enjoyed that lighting. Oh, you see, this is perfect. This is absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on that. This is fucking. This is absolutely sick as well. Brilliant. I love the mixed media. Excuse me, but yeah, I could tell immediately that's what that person was doing there. It's interesting, that is. I really was. That's what I had in mind to do when I opened this art jam. Started streaming today. I think I'm going too much into detail actually, and maybe this is one where even though the blur brush isn't amazing, we do want to use it because you actually do want the kind of perfect computerized blur that you can get. There you go, right in those spots, those particular spots. And we just want a bit of half tone. Trying to keep a big brush, that's something that I keep forgetting about. We want as big a brush as possible for the stroke. And that's probably a good rule to follow a lot of the time, actually. Probably a good way to practice in general. Here we go. You ready to see what playing with the silhouette looks like? Oh, it's just too satisfying. It's too satisfying. Biggest upgrade you can make to your painting. Playing with the silhouette. Incredible. Look how many skulls we got. There's still more people joining. In fact, there's 5 other people on here right now painting. And one of them has decided to spray paint the eye of my my center painting. I'm not sure why, but that was the decision was made. Man, I'm loving this skull and crossbones. That one turned out amazingly as well. And you see how quickly they painted that. It was in like 30 seconds. Amazing. Love it. I'm on the rubber. Or the eraser, sorry. It's a bit Cyberman-esque. What if I did that? I don't know. Can I play with it a little bit? Make it a more interesting shape. I'm not sure. Definitely want the well, I don't know actually. Do I want the slits? Not sure. Nah. And I think I want a stronger chin. Try and use a large brush here. There you go. Now I can actually put some interesting detail on it. Larger chin. And this is the actual chin that I'm expanding this time. Try and get this muzzle to look like it goes out like that. There we go. It sort of slots in there. Let's carve this cheekbone out a little bit more. Although there is a bit of a spot there where the cheekbone dips in, I feel like. Still trying to keep this sort of simplified style, but I may end up upgrading it to a different style that's a bit more detailed, or that can hold a bit more detail. We'll see how much detail this style can hold while still maintaining itself. You know, the further and further we drift away from this sort of splotchy style, with more and more detail. I don't think I should make that look like that. Maybe more like that. Oh, I did it to myself. Right. I might. Alright, this is I'm gonna do a bit of admin work. You ready? I don't know. I think that is the person. They're drawing like a monkey skull that actually looks really cool. Oh no, it's fairies. I don't know. I don't know. Probably be better if it hid the names on here, actually. For streaming, I feel like. Just gonna see if they're actually even still painting on here right now. No, they're not. Came, they drew their red splotch and they left. And in fact, looking at their layer, it's just a red splotch. I'm gonna take over it and see, did they paint anything else? literally just a red splotch, so it's getting deleted. Wow, there you go. I am an admin, professional admin at my own service, right? Where's mine? I've lost my own one now. Oh, here we go. It put me on it automatically. Let's just try the rubber to prove that I'm on the right layer. Yep. Now that is not a detail you can do very easily with the small brush. Usually it's that shadow sticks down like that too even, so. Sometimes it can look really nice when it curves around there, and you know what, we can try and use the blur brush and get rid of some of these brush streaks if we can. And also stretch that one out. Just a little bit like that. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Have a look at my own model skull for some inspiration, eh? I mean, there is kind of that shape, I feel like, buried deep in the skull that I always feel like I want to play off of, but never quite figured out a way that works nicely. I don't know if I captured it here. Yeah, I did a little bit. Yeah, that shape, it's an unexpected one, and it's one that is a larger detail than it seems to be at first. Makes a lot of difference to a painting of a skull. I think that eye's gone a bit too high compared to its brother. Something more like that. Let's try this blur brush on the edges of the eye sockets, maybe a bit more. I'm liking the super ultra soft eye sockets aesthetic. Looking good. Blend in places like this too. Bigger blend brush maybe. This little try early we had, I like how it's resulted in this sort of triangle, and yeah, I think that's the shape that I often look for, but it's a tough one, that little triangle there. If I had to outline it, it'd be something like that. It's like, you know, tough one there, tough one that is. The top of the nose should be a bit darker, even though it's not pointing down as much anymore at that point. Something like that maybe. Of course, something like that too. No, it's a bit too dark, but you'll see when I blur it out, the light will kind of win over a little bit anyway. And I'll be putting some more brights in not too long from now when I put the highlights in. I think we're keeping the style, I wonder. I don't know. I feel like we're going back to the style of the first one, really. First one that we painted earlier. Oh, I love that though. Love that shape. Try and carve the eye out a bit here. It's a risky one, but we can do that. We can get away with it. Also, brightening this up just a slight bit. We can get away with that too. Maybe moving the jaw just out a little bit. Maybe get away with a bigger muzzle. this side in as well. Don't forget this side. Try not to ruin the nice shape of the character filled shape of the chin that we had a second ago. At least replace it with some more character. I feel like it just needs a bit more dark at the chin for some reason. Something like that. I'm using the rubber, I just realised though. Maybe we can get away with something a bit more like that then. Yes, how does that look? Oh my god. Reshaping the this is where I risk kind of knocking the character of the painting away a bit as well, so I'm going to try and keep it as much as I can, but basically we're making these eye sockets look just a tiny bit more realistic and a bit more rendered. Show must move on, you know. We've got to move on in unison. You can't get a I feel like I should bring some of the darkest darks down here. Sorry, just before I get ahead of myself and try the new value. Oh, this looks nice. Very satisfying, that little group of shapes there is. I don't know how to work it out into teeth quite yet, but sure it'll come to us. Just feel like it needs a little bit more dark though for me to be comfortable with it. Something like that. Maybe we'll add a tint to this secondary light as well. I'm not sure. Feel like we need something more like that. It's a big change, but yeah. Much as I'm happy with those shapes, I feel like oh, now the jaw doesn't go back quite as far enough. Something to do with this cheekbone. It goes down just a little bit too low, I feel like. See, like the height of the eye and then the height of the bottom of the jawline is way too low. Way too low. You know what we actually should do, I think. I don't do this very often in the art jams, but let's give it a go. Try to not have to. Yeah, I think it's time to Photoshop. I want to just do that. Maybe a little bit less. Maybe I want to do that. I'm just going to try and be cheeky and blend the seam for now. It's probably a good thing to do a lot of the time before you cover over a seam anyway. See my reference from the side of this eye. It really is it's quite an interesting shape right here at the side of the eye socket. I can't remember what it's called. This little divot. Very interesting place on the skull and the side of the and by interesting I mean difficult. Difficult to get the hang of. This person's still going. Wow. I'm flattered by the amount of time people have spent on some of these. That's quite cool too. I've seen it somewhere else and I'm not sure where. You know what I haven't done with these paintings? I haven't, that I could do. I haven't filtered them at all. So if we go into filter, and this is actually quite an important step, especially in my full paintings. You see I do this a lot. Usually you want to up the brightness and up the contrast a little bit, but not as much as the brightness. That's the rule. Right, and you see a dull image turns into well, it looks like you flicked the light switch on, right? Because I naturally paint, not everyone does this, and I'm particularly bad with this. I'm not sure why. I naturally paint. Just trying to get this right, sorry. I naturally paint quite dark and gloomy. So adding this correction can help my paintings a lot. See, that just looks like you flick the light switch straight on. And when you do that, you do naturally lose a bit of saturation, so you can come back in here and add that back and then some. Don't usually have to up that too much, but there you go. You see, it just looks like it's got some life in it now. It's gone from that to that, and that goes for a lot of my paintings. So do that with this bad boy as well. Yoink. Filter it. Brightness and contrast. We try and get the picture nice and large for you. I did it too small then. So oh, cannot draw when filters are active. Okay, I guess I'll try and do it with my mouse. No. It's broken in some way. Yeah. 1 second. Let me go out of the canvas and back in. Okay, let's try that again. So yeah, where's my layer? Let me delete this one. Find my previous one. There it is. Okay. So now we want to highlight it and play with some of these filters. Brightness and contrast. Oh! Not the owner of this layer. Double click to own it. I absolutely am the owner of this layer. It's kind of broke. It's a little bit broke. Yeah, the button to own the layer is broke. I don't know. Maybe that's a sign. Yeah, we've actually overstayed what I was planning to stream at the most. Let's just give it. Just give it one more try. Let's see. Yes, it's still working at the moment. Maybe one more try. One sec. Okay, I gave it some stern words and it's agreed to cooperate. What was we gonna do? I was gonna filter it, right. Filter of the skull. Select it. Filter. Brightness of contrast. Here we go. Let me zoom in for you guys. Right. I'm gonna up the brightness a bit. I'm gonna up the contrast, but not as much as the brightness. This one really doesn't need much, I don't think. See, it looks like the light switch just got flicked on, basically. I think I'm just gonna go with that. I don't know. I don't think this is gonna need saturation raising, but we'll just test it just in case, see if it looks good. It doesn't. Maybe if I can change the hue a little bit, because it's a bit of one hue paint. Yeah, I like that hue a bit more. I don't normally do that, but it's a nice hue. I don't know why I'm messing around with the brightness. I was just wondering what it would do. You know what though? I think I'm gonna desaturate it. I mean, there's not much. Yeah, I think I just did it a bit too far then. Yeah, there you go. Definitely did it too far. Right, I'm gonna quickly finish this one, and then I do believe that I need to cook my dinner. I'm already a bit late too, in fact. So yeah, let's finish this off. This one's become a bit Bridgman-like, I feel like, on this jaw, the way all the lines are. I need to get some more Bridgman books, especially if I can find some that look at the skull. I think I've just got one. That looks at faces. Can't remember if there's much of the skull in there. I haven't read it too many times. I feel like I need to get a couple of Bridgman books and see which ones click with me. I'll definitely use them as reference in future. They're excellent. I think for this bottom grill it's better to show it with light rather than dark, because the light's kind of hitting this top shelf, just where the teeth meet the bone of the jaw. Okay, then let's dip a bit darker. Making some of this stuff quite dark. I'm taking a couple of leaps here. I think I'm going to end up regretting them a bit, because I'll have to go back and saturate them. This level of darkness is too saturated to do that bit that I just did. You see, it's a bit desaturated now. It's a bit more grey than the rest of the half tones. Here, the jaw is probably the most important place of silhouette sculpting that we have right here. Skull and the back of the head make all the difference. Oh my god, this is the rubber! Oh, I've just rubbed that so much. No. See, this is why I should stop. Oh my god. Right. Let me finish this without accidentally using the rubber. Or the eraser even. Something like that, isn't it? Right. There we go. We are getting there though. We're getting there. That's the ultimate desaturation, that is. Literally the black of the background there. Darkest sort of area you're gonna see. Doing these darks can often be just as satisfying as it's doing some of the highlights for sure. So I knew that was the thing with the faces, like the wild dude face. Yeah, the shapes that make the skull are just so satisfying. Really can't beat it. Right, should we add some highlights and leave? Let's do it. Highlights and then signing out. Let's go. Couple here. Oh, right there, yeah. Make that eyebrow look thick. Tip of the nose right there. A little bit more just above this eye socket, and right on this bit too. I'm feeling it's a bit sharp. Little squiggle shape right there. In the peaks and troughs at the bottom of the nose. Right at the tip of the nose too sometimes even. Right here where it gets nice and bright. There's actually a big macro change I need to do. Right there, that chin needs sculpting, needs a lot of sculpting. Something more like that. Okay, back to the highlights. Back to the highlight. One right there would look really cool, I think. Yeah, we're just getting 3 wins here for sure. Just the front few teeth. And darken this base of the skull back there. Some nice darks leading up here. Add that little shape that's on the jaw. Darken that even more. This guy's got quite the chin. I do want to make the chin a bit smaller, but I don't want it to then change everything and make me have to do a bunch more work. Definitely need to play with just the silhouette of the jaw and then leave. Please. I don't know, should he have less of a chin? I don't know. No, I don't have enough go backs left. Knew I'd do this to myself. No, we're good, we're good. There's still something a bit off about that jaw. It's like, I like it. It's got character, you know, but and it isn't unrealistic, but there's something that I'm not doing intentionally that's changing the shape of the jaws to be a bit more, I don't know, I think I'm not, it's probably that I'm not flaring out. Oh my god, I really want to sign out, but it's probably that I'm not flaring out the jaws enough. A bit like that. I don't know why I'm naturally not doing that. And I really work on that right now. So yeah, I do need to cook my food and go to bed. Should it be more like that? No. Actually, that should be more wide. That should be wider. Oh my god. Right, we're staying and fixing this painting then, I guess. Something more like that. Off by a little, off by a lot, eh? And I can probably get away with a bit more of a different shape in some areas. The shape still needs working on a bunch. Oh my god. I need to I'm gonna have to just leave it looking a little bit more unfinished than I would have liked, because I'm not gonna figure out what I'm trying to figure out in the space of time that I've got here. I think the jaw needs a lot more work to really get it to look quite human. But this will have to do for now. Alright, that's enough. Right, that'll have to do for now. This is a very successful art jam. Very much enjoyed this stream. I'm going to leave you with that image. I'm going to sign out, and I guess I'll be back next